It's the year 1995. The Quebec referendum fails to pass. The Dow Jones has just reached 5,000 points, and Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, is redefining cinema. It's an exciting year for sure, but nothing can quite compare to what's about to happen. This is the first year of the Electronic Entertainment Expo, or E3 as the cool kids call it, an annual event where fans gather round, hand in hand, as corporations berate them with ads. But not just any ads, mind you. No, we're talking interactive entertainment experiences, the hottest new video games, game consoles, and even this thing. It's a real roller coaster of emotions as these corporate press conferences bring about both the games of our dreams and crushing disappointment. Now, I know this is ancient history for some of the younger viewers, so I'll give you some context. This is back in the era before the gamers rose up. You see, the industry was relatively small compared to today. The whole video game market was valued at around $20 billion. Yeah, sure, it's not chump change, but in 2018, that value would rise to a staggering $135 billion, which happens to be over 4 times the global box office for the same year. And sure, video games aren't the most important thing in the world, and I could choose to talk about something else, but gaming's not a choice, it's a lifestyle. So crack open a cold one, hit that sick vape, and do the default dance, because today we're talking about video games. But Tyler, you may ask, this isn't knowledge. I didn't sign up for this pop culture garbage. Well, Jimmy, E3 is an event about marketing. Marketing drives consumerism, which drives capitalism, which drives America, which drives the world forward. E3 has the unique trait of bringing all the leaders of an entertainment medium into a single place. They're judged by the public's unrelenting eyes, so they have some pretty good incentive to bring the goods. And with this, it's easy to see E3 as a pretty good reflection on the video game industry as a whole. When video games suffer from uncreative corporate garbage, E3 suffers as well. And in a way, we all suffer. Every single day. But yeah, E3 is about marketing to the audience, and in this sense, it's different than other shows, like the Consumer Electronics Show or the Detroit Auto Show. E3 is intended to directly sell products to viewers. It's not really a showcase of cutting-edge tech and prototypes for professionals in the industry and other fancy stuff. At the end of the day, it's really just a bunch of commercials. But unlike most ads, these commercials are actually valued by the public. Oh yes, videos will be made dissecting each detail, reactions will be had, but it may not be as vapid as it appears at first glance. No, what happens at E3 does have some actual value, some impact on the world around us. But considering how many awkward, uncomfortable moments occur during a given conference, that wouldn't be anybody's first impression.
Peggle 2!
I mean, look at this. Just embarrassing. But hey, E3 has never been perfect. I mean, in the first year, Sega kinda killed their whole company, announced their game console, the Saturn, was launching right then and there, the day of the conference. While today this could have been a novel, bold move, the internet wasn't really a big thing yet, so nobody knew about it, not even the people making the games. And yeah, after this, the Sega Saturn failed pretty hard. This would launch a tradition of companies going on stage and saying just the stupidest things.
Another exciting aspect is $599 US for Ridge Racer.
It's kind of a look into the corporate psyche, if you will. They have the dream opportunity of getting millions of people to actively seek out their product marketing, yet they still manage to mess up in so many hilarious ways. And you know, they're human. They're gonna make mistakes, some flubs here and there. Sometimes they just don't speak right.
I grab chicks every Friday.
But come on, these marketing moves were planned ahead of time. And it isn't just all fun and games, laugh it off, bring on the memes.
Do you have a meme you wanna pitch?
Oh my God!
We did that together.
This actually affects the market. Real money is on the line. Think about it. Nintendo messes up the announcement of the Wii U. They don't lay out the full details of their product in a clear, concise manner. Even those watching the conference aren't sure if what they are seeing is a new console or some new attachment for the original Wii. This confusion doesn't make people seek out the information themselves. They just get less excited and there's less buzz online. The console sells poorly, developers sell less copies, and Nintendo is forced to try again just a few years later. Now sure, E3 isn't the only factor in play. We use a confusing, laughable, painful joke of a name for the new console, and the software lineup was lacking for many years. But that initial impression really affects the whole discourse on how people view something. If they would have accurately portrayed the value of their platform in the first place, we might not have seen awful sales numbers. It's important to garner positive attention on day one, and people will talk. they'll tell their friends, and if they don't have any friends, they'll tell people online. It's exponential gains over time, but you need to nail that announcement first, or it just falls apart. I mean, I could go on and on about how E3 influences the video game market in tangible, real-world ways. Just so many poor marketing decisions that would go on to define how fans perceive a company or a product. And that is really the beauty of E3, and why I care so dearly about every conference. Having real-world markets be affected by something that's almost like a sporting event. Fanboys may screech into the void, but social media does determine a victor and a loser every year. So you may be asking, why even bother with E3? Why go on stage and risk embarrassment and even potential revenue for the showcase? Well, many companies have started to ask that same question. Starting in 2013, Nintendo shifted away from traditional press conferences at E3. Instead, we got this pre-recorded video stuff. At first, it was new and kind of scary. People didn't like the idea of the time-tested tradition transitioning too quickly. Live stage events just had more charisma and excitement, sometimes. But regardless, it always felt like you were a part of something bigger, as the crowd cheers over the big new announcements. These Nintendo Directs were criticized for feeling bland and corporate at first, but I mean, I guess it was worth it if we can avoid more incidents like this. And now, a lot of companies are opting to just hold their own events outside the E3 ecosystem, or just show pre-recorded video in an attempt to eliminate potential risks. And I can't really blame them. Some say all press is good press, but that's not really true. If you're trying to sell a product, bad press is indeed bad. People just won't buy something if everything they hear about it comes from negative attention. Marketing works best when it comes from genuine praise or excitement, letting a product speak for itself, and I guess eventually the fans speak for it. So the best thing for any product is to get people excited, talking about it in their own circles off their own volition. Get something trending organically on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube. It's gonna work a lot better at selling something than a freaking TV commercial. And people can tell when something is marketed disingenuously. It's kind of something we've gotten pretty good at in a world where ads are thrown at us everywhere. We've grown cynical of marketing teams, of the brands trying to utilize the memes. But a good quality product will always lead to positive word of mouth, which is more valuable now than ever before. And I understand just having something that is inherently a decent product doesn't ensure success, and yeah, that's where the marketing comes in. But I'm consistently astounded at how tone-deaf marketing teams are. Even the worst E3 conference moments were planned as positive marketing buzz. They thought this would work. Whether it's not respecting the consumer's intelligence or just being painfully out of touch, somebody thought these were good ideas. And it gives some semblance of insight into what tactics marketing teams think will work on the general populace. Now, I'm not trying to be a hipster cynic and tear into E3. I mean, I love it. I love the whole thing. The pre-E3 discussions, the rumors, the leaks, the conferences, the post-E3 discussions, and the inevitable emptiness as I count down the days till the next one. Yeah, I'm a sad, bald man. But I'm not saying you should feel bad for spending a week watching advertisements, because I know I'll be sitting here eagerly waiting for that next sweet nugget of gaming news. But I think it's important to analyze anything in the market. After all, it'll give me a bit more closure for when E3 finally shuts down for good. And yeah, it isn't going away in the immediate future. Sure, Sony isn't going to the event for the first time since E3 began, but I'd be surprised if they weren't showing off their PS5 on stage next year with the best of them. The next few years will go on as usual, but eventually, it just makes sense that companies will start to opt out, hold their own events when they can get the most exposure for what they're trying to sell. Grouping together every major announcement for the year in a single week means that nobody wins. And yeah, you could see some big press conferences happen in this early summer season we've become accustomed to. School's out, people are having cookouts on the weekends. Get out the good old pork and burn and cook yourself up some bratwurst. But some companies might choose to space it out, put some events earlier in the year. But look, when you add up all the facts, the negative attributes of having this congregated press event, I can't see E3 lasting too long into the 2020s. And it's kind of poetic, since it once again reflects the shifting gaming market. Staples of the industry like GameStop are on their last legs as people change how they go about buying things. Yeah, I don't like stores. I don't like going outside. But in the meantime, we can appreciate what we have. E3 is like a holiday. Everybody gets excited, gathers round in a moment of bliss, enjoying the shared experience, only to fight about petty stuff while corporations try to sell us things. Happy holidays, everybody. This is Tyler of Knowledge Hub.